Hi, Roy here with a book review. This is something that's come my way I've been enjoying. The Female Hypnotist, stories from the Victorian and Edwardian eras, edited by Donald K. Hartman. I'll put the details down below. Really interesting collection, so it's stories from that period. It's actually the fourth in a series, so there's already been Death by Suggestion, 22 stories from the 19th and early 20th centuries where hypnotism is used to cause death. The Hypno Ripper, 2 stories published at the time of the Jack the Ripper killings, when hypnotised folks do the murders. And there's also Hypnotic Tales of Raphael Sabatini. So Donald Hartman seems to be doing a similar job for hypnotism as Tim Praisel is doing for occult detectives, collecting stories, including lots of hard to find and forgotten ones, and putting them in a sort of a academic context as well. So it's kind of been rigorously put together and with enough sort of extra info to make it an academic book. Fortunately, it's not like academic library price. It's available for regular folks to buy. In fact, on Kindle, I'm not sure they'll even take your money for it. So that's good. So it's a great resource for anyone who's interested in the period, and it's a good read as well. And a nicely presented book. So you've got this striking cover image, and you've got things like this graphic interspersed with the stories, as well as some photographs as well. Woman attempting to hypnotise a friend. So can't do better really than the foreword in giving an idea of the female hypnotist as a character. So as I understand it, the George du Maurier book Trilby, that involves mesmerism, and that had been a runaway bestseller, so it's like irresistible for there to be sort of other stories of that ilk coming out. But the hypnotist protagonist tends to be male, so the ones where the female is the sort of the one with the power, maybe there's fewer of them, and also it's got a bit of a different vibe. So let's see what Amy Ellingham says in the foreword. The 14 tales of female hypnotists and women wielding hypnotic powers are penned by both male and female authors, some famed, some forgotten. What binds them is the foreboding sense that a woman hypnotist is, to contemporary minds, taboo. That such outliers are a scourge upon good, legitimate male mesmerists to be stamped out. That women who use their eyes and tongues to persuade, seduce and deceive are essentially witches. Some are depicted as evil only by dint of their cool independence or the crude exotic, i.e. racist, anti-Semitic or ableist stereotypes of the times. So whereas your male hypnotist might be a kind of a scientist and a pioneer of this great new science, the characters here, they do tend to be kind of disturbing, as that intro says, and I think that actually does make for the best stories. I commend to you The Woman with the Oily Eyes by Dick Donovan. I've got a Yellow Jacket book by him, which I haven't read yet. And also another one stuck in my mind is The Parasite, Arthur Conan Doyle. But again and again we see the female hypnotist using her powers, which to me seem to rather exceed the reality of hypnotism, sort of for a start operating remotely and sometimes making physical things happen, that as well as sort of compelling people to do stuff. But these women are disrupting a marriage or an engagement. So a virtuous couple is sundered in some way, and the man doing the bidding, you know, of the mesmeric woman is helpless, and dreadful things happen. So they're brilliant melodramas in that respect. Obviously, looking at it through modern eyes, is you might see different elements. So I thought that was good. There's also a story by Louisa May Alcott, which called A Pair of Eyes, or Modern Magic. That was a great story, and that's led me to start this, trying to find the more sort of supernatural and gothic tales by Alcott for a little reading project where she's pitted against L.M. Montgomery. So watch this space for that. And lots of others as well. I mean, the titles are titles to conjure with, really. A Scientific Revenge, Marie Madison. The Burglar's Blunder, Richard Marsh. They're maybe not all bangers. I mean, I was a little bit disappointed in Richard Marsh's story. The Beetle, his novel, is fantastic. This is a pretty straightforward story, but it's fine. Facts in the Ratcliffe Case, Edward Page Mitchell. Suggestion, translated by Edith Kirkwood. One Woman's Will by GFG. Suggested Suicide, Erkman Chatrian. John Barrington Cowles, Arthur Conan Doyle, again an apt pupil, anonymous, not that one. Philip Darrell's Wife, B.J. Farjan. An Experiment in Conscience, Montefiore Bienenstock. Madame Valprez, Emmerich Holm Beeman, and then the ones I've said. And again, going back to its sort of function as a kind of a an overview of this niche in fiction, you get a female hypnotism bibliography. So as well as the stories that you've got here, you've also got a big listing of many, perhaps all such stories with hyperlinks and all sorts of things. So if anybody was either researching this area or perhaps writing neo-Victorian fiction, neo-Edwardian fiction, and wanted to sort of get a handle on this sort of area, you couldn't do better than this, really. So yeah, I really enjoyed that. Like I said, part of a series from a press called Themes and Settings in Fiction, and yeah, I look forward to probably getting the others. There you go, The Female Hypnotist. Cheers, everybody. Back soon with something else.